Hello everyone. I hope someone's there. I say that every week. So welcome to this week's art class. I've got a few bits of information for you of interest. Oh, hi. Right, so let me give you my messages first. I think this is the last art class we're going to do at 3 o'clock because what with the weather cheering up and people going back to work and shops open and that, so from next week, we're going to do it from 7 o'clock, if that's all right, in the evening. So people who are working can still do it. And, you know, if you're on the beach, you'll be back in time. And if you're in the garden, you'll be back in time. So next week, remember, it's 7 o'clock. We made a terrible error this week. And by mistake, on the notification, it said it was tomorrow. So I'm so grateful to Sarah Jane for changing all her plans because she told everyone it was tomorrow, so we've had to try and let everyone it's actually today. But you're here now, so that's all right then. Now, hi everyone. Hi. But my other messages are today because Sarah Jane's done lots of stuff to help the local food bank, so we're going to put the link up to that. So if anyone wants to make a donation to that would be absolutely lovely. And last time she often does concerts online here about once a month, and I think she raised over £2,000 last time for the food bank. So I don't think we make that much, but every penny counts, doesn't it? Even a little 5p or whatever, that would be super. Let me say hi to these people. Brian, it's all the regulars. Dina, oh, you got your son with you, lovely. Donata, Paula, Jennifer Corker, who does the lovely. They're coming from all over the place. South of France. Oh, hi, you ferret. Lovely to see you. David Coakley. Oh, Stourbridge. Hello. You've got nice headdresses. Pauline, hi. Karen, hi. Nicola Maria Riordan. Oh, there's lots of you. Of course you can join. Anyone can join in. It's free. Hi, Richard. Anyone from the whole world can join in. Oh, hi, Chris and Reynard. I'm glad you're live and heavy with your new record player. That's my brother I'm talking to, by the way, so I can be cheeky to him. Hi, Donald. Hi, Paul Wayne from Hull. Stop keep beating me at Wordblitz. Hi, Max. Hi from Norway. Hi. Oh, we're from all over the world today. Sarah Jane's calling everyone in. It's brilliant. Oh, hi, Mr. Ted Walker. Right, I better start. I've got more messages. Well, on Saturday, we're going live. We're going to do a live art class. Probably, at the moment, we're thinking Morrison's car park. And there's only 8 people can do it, really, because of social distancing. But it's going to be on Isolation Station Hastings. So we're going to put a little thing up later so you can register. And then we'll have to pick 8 people who can do it. We'll let you know all the details, but we'll put the registration up later. So basically, you'll probably join Katie in a very glamorous outfit. And it'd be more to me teaching you art rather than chit-chatting. Because it's not all of it going to be shown, so it'll be a bit of chit chat and then actually doing proper art and drawing. So that'd be quite exciting. I'll give you my professional opinions, but are very casual. Bonjour, Anthony Duckles. I know you're in Worthing. Oh, Florida. Oh my goodness, we are worldwide, aren't we? Oh, Mersey Island, Essex. Oh yeah, here's the register. I'm sure it'll be printed up somewhere, so you don't have to write it down. But Katie will sort that out. She'll let me know what's going on. Now, as I said, I think I've given you all my messages. Now, hi from North Devon. There's lots of people on today, which is thrilling. What was I going to say? Right, first of all, we're going to show the video of Sarah Jane Morris singing with the Communards, Don't Leave Me This Way. And I seem to recognise quite a few people in the background. I think they used to go to the Bell, if anyone here remembers that. So before we start seeing Sarah, I warn you, she looks absolutely lovely and she's got a dog with her. So I know you like that. So here's the video.
leave me this way. I can't exist as a showiness. You can't kiss, so don't leave me this way. Ah, baby, your heart is full of love, is that what you? So come on down and do what you gotta do. You started this fire down in my soul. I can't see it burning out of control. So come on down and set fire needing me. You're doing your good loving, you set me free. Don't leave me this way. Don't understand how I'm a joyful man. So baby, please, don't you leave me this way. Oh, baby, my heart is full of love and desire for you. So come on down and do what you gotta do. You started a fire down in my soul. I can't see it, it's burning out of control. So come on down and satisfy the need of me. You know you're alone, but set me free. 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 Leave me this way. Ooh, baby, I can't exist. I will surely miss your tender kiss. So don't leave me this way. Baby, my heart is full of love and desire for you. So come down and do what you gotta do. You started this fire down in my soul. I can't see this burning out of control. So come down and set fire and need it be. You know you're good loving, but set me free. Set me free. Set me free. Set me free. Set me free.
Hi, that was marvellous. So now I'd like to introduce Sarah Jane herself, who looks not a day older than she did then.
Oh, you charmer.
Hi, Sarah Jane. How old were you when you did that?
How old was I? I think I was 26 or 27.
I love your look. That was just such the look then, wasn't it? Hard
Yeah,
times.
it was Body Map that dressed us. Do you remember Body
Oh,
Map?
really? Of course I do. I know
Yeah.
them very well. Oh,
So
how
that
lovely.
fantastic top and those wonderful baggy trousers.
I
And the hair up looks like I'm going for the Victorian look with the hair, but actually, foolishly, I listened to this hairdresser that stopped me in Bond Street one day. It was just before we were making the video.
Yeah.
And saying, "Oh, you've got, I want to cut your hair and make you look like the girl in the Flake advert." And that's exactly what my hair looked like. And I came out with just these few strands. Here they feather cut it. So I had to get a hat from a charity shop and make it look like it was supposed to be up, but it wasn't up. That was all that was left.
My friend Karen says she stole that look from you for a while in the 80s. Went for that look. Jennifer Corker saying, Jennifer Corker will do a lovely embroidery of you. Now, everyone who's drawing, you've got an added bonus of this. What's the dog's name?
Harrison.
You've got this lovely dog, Harrison. I don't really know if you can see his features, but he's a lovely little thing. So that's another
He's a
bonus.
scruffy little bugger.
Yeah. So as usual, you can either draw lots of little pictures, one big picture, whatever you fancy. But I think the colours are absolutely beautiful. The grey goes lovely with the cushions. And I think Sarah Jane's got a very interesting dress on with some very interesting patterns. Oh, Despo wasn't going to draw, but now she is. Is it a border terrier?
Yeah, a scruffy border terrier. One that's never been cut.
Oh, look at his little face. I keep thinking I should get a dog, but no, I can't because I would be useless. So, did you always want to be a pop singer, or?
Oh no.
No. What did you want to be?
So I was going to be a physiotherapist.
Oh yeah.
And only because it seemed to impress my friends' parents.
Oh.
I wasn't really studying the right subjects.
Yeah.
And I at school I was very good at ceramics.
Yeah.
And but halfway through my A levels, I came from a big family, by the way. I've got 6 brothers. My dad went to prison when I was 17, halfway through the A levels, and you can imagine that kind of changed everything.
Yeah, what happened? I don't want to be rude. What does he go in for? You don't have to say if you don't.
21 charges of fraud, corruption, and theft. The sort of thing that nowadays you'd get community service, but he got quite a long time in prison. But anyway, it just meant that I left halfway through the A levels, so I didn't know what to do, and then I found myself a few months later going into the local tech college. And being a bit nervous about enrolling, not sure what I should enrol for.
Whereabouts was this?
This is in Stratford. We were living quite near Stratford-on-Avon.
Oh, so that's a very nice place.
South Warwickshire Tech. Oh, Harrison, darling. Let me move him back and see if I can get him a bit more comfortable.
There poor Harrison.
Oh, darling. There. Oh.
I mean, if he wants to wander off, he can. Don't force him if he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he might want to.
Because he's kind of blocking you out now. He's taking star position.
Okay, I'm going to put him beside me and see if he's just going to, I think, settle just next to me.
Oh, yeah, that would be lovely. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then we can see a lovely pattern. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, so you're in Stratford-on-Avon, going to college.
Stratford-on-Avon, and what was amazing was there was this guy standing outside this darkened, what I found out later was a studio. And he asked me what I was doing because I was a bit nervous about going in and enrolling. And I said, oh, I'm wondering what course to enroll for. And I must have told him my life story. He was out having a fag outside. And it turns out that he was the head of the drama department. He was about the age of my dad. And he was the leading authority on Bertolt Brecht in the country. And he'd started this course, which was the first theatre and education course in the country. So people were coming from all over the country to do it. But obviously, being a local girl, I didn't have to get a grant or anything. Yeah. But, I mean, anyway, he basically said, as a result of me telling him about my life, you've been forced to be an outsider, you've been alienated, and that's what Brecht is all about. And he said, I really think that this course would help you and help you feel better about who you are and find your way. And he became like a surrogate dad to me. And it was my introduction to socialism and to left-wing politics. It was Gordon Valens that made the difference. And Ben Elton was on the course. So I was the year below Ben Elton. Yeah. And Richard Coles did the course a few years later. And that's how I knew Richard. Yeah. And several of my brothers went on and did the course, years after me. Yeah. And
can I just answer Simon? Yeah, it was Richard Coles on the piano. It was. That's my Richard fan. Yeah.
Richard.
Yeah.
Who I'm still friends with.
Have you got cars going past your house or something?
I'm afraid we live on the corner of two roads. Are you seeing flashing happening?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just wondered what it was.
Yeah.
So you were at college and you met this lovely man who helped you.
This lovely man who helped me and like I said, he became my surrogate dad. And then after doing this 2-year course, I wondered about, because I got into Loughborough College of Art to do ceramics, and I got into the Central
So, were you
School.
singing at this time?
Pardon?
Were you singing at this time?
No, I hadn't discovered a voice.
Yeah.
And I also got into Central School of Speech and Drama to do drama. So I didn't know which course to do. So I went along and visited my dad at the open prison, because by that time he'd moved to an open prison. It took about half a day to get there.
Yeah.
And I was about to ask him the question when, from under the canteen table, he produced this, what looked like a leather drawstring bag, and it was made out of stoneware, no glazing. And I remember looking at that and thinking, okay, I'm going to drama school. Never had to ask the question.
Yeah. Oh, so you went to Central School of
So I went to Central, and I didn't quite fit in there either. I didn't complete the course, and I left. I joined. At that point, I think it was getting close to the time Dad was going to come out of prison, and I still had a huge chip on my shoulder. And so I answered an ad in the Melody Maker and in the Stage, and it was an Italian rock band that wanted a singer, someone Janis Joplin-ish.
Yeah.
And so I answered the advert, as did a lot of other actors and actresses. And I kept getting callbacks, and I got the job. And so it meant I moved out then to Italy, and I lived in Florence, or just outside of Florence to start with. But I sung with this Italian rock band, and that was my introduction to music. Really, you know, that was the first proper band, and my introduction to Italy, which has become in my head and my heart my second home.
Yeah.
But that I went out and lived there for, don't know how many months I was there. But the first place I lived was it was the drummer's place. He lived in a what looked like a Bieder-Meinhof type retreat, in the hills above Florence, in a place called Fiesole. So it was miles from anywhere, and I didn't speak any Italian. I didn't have any money. So, and he was a hermit. He would sleep all day and get up at night.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really aware of the amazing beauty of Florence until I met this. I became very good friends. She's a lifelong friend. Someone called Jane, who was the girlfriend at the time of the manager of the band, and she lived in Florence. And bit by bit, she let me come and stay there, and so I was able to feel part of, you know, a life in Firenze. And that was the beginning of my love for that wonderful country.
Yeah. Oh, because you're meant to be going back. You're meant to be there now, aren't you?
I would normally have been, yeah, had we not had this terrible pandemic and world coming to a standstill. I in another world, I would have been based in Rome for all of June and all of July, because my husband was going to be teaching art as part of the Rome program, the American Rome program, and I was going to be going all over Italy as part of this new project, which is about the guy, Mark Chapman, who murdered John Lennon.
Yeah.
And so it's a play, and I was asked by the Solace Quartet, who are a wonderful string quartet based in Naples, and to sing the very unusual versions of the songs of the Beatles, because I've got a baritone voice. Obviously, they're very different in key as well. And so I'm kind of an actress within it, but I'm also singing these songs with the quartet, sort of interweaving between the script.
Sounds fantastic.
Actor playing Chapman.
And have you got to act in Italian?
I've got a few lines in Italian, but the actual Beatles songs in English. But they, because Italy opened up before we did, because obviously they went down with COVID before we did too. They started to have concerts again. So I fly out on Wednesday to launch that project.
Are you meant to
about
go
a month
2
late.
weeks to get there?
Well, you don't have to self-isolate there now. They've changed the rules.
Oh, good.
Because originally we were going to have to go out earlier and self-isolate. My husband's coming with me.
Oh, lovely.
And then we were going to have to self-isolate here for 2 weeks coming back.
But now you're on that funny thing, aren't they? What they call the corridor.
On the corridor, exactly.
So confusing.
There
I
are
don't
so
know what
many forms we've had to fill in, to press up and take with us for every part of the journey, you know, from the train to any kind of journeying. And the airport, I unfortunately have to fly. But I'll report back to you and tell you how it feels.
I love knowing when people travel, because my friend had to travel from Lisbon to Vienna about 2 weeks ago. He was the only person on the plane.
Oh my gosh.
So he felt like it was his own special private jet. Oh, yeah, Adam Wyde is saying, can you sing something in Italian for him?
Something in Italian. Okay.
Oh, you're going to. Brilliant.
Let me think. Passo tempo e che fa, tutti cresce se ne va.
That was lovely. When I hear people singing love, I get the shivers down my spine because, you know, I can't sing anything, so I get thrilled. Right, so we've gone from you going to college to going to Italy now. We need to fill in the middle bits.
Okay, so
you college, you were in a band with some Italian people.
Band. Then I came back to England and I got involved in I lived in Brixton. I lived in a hard-to-let flat, council flat in Brixton. And you know, I was doing a bit of squatting before that in the days when you could squat.
Oh,
and
quit now, can you? Don't think.
Pardon?
Nobody does it anymore, do they?
Nobody does it anymore.
No.
We used to hitch and squat.
Exactly, hitchhiking and squatting.
Yeah, it still feels like a very different world, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I squatted some great places along the way, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I ended up in Brixton, which is a place that I love dearly. And I joined this fantastic, how many of us were there? Probably about a 10, 12-piece band called the Republic.
Yeah.
And it was an African, Caribbean, Latin band doing world music before they ever used that term.
Yeah.
And I joined with a friend, I got involved because a friend of mine who'd been an actor in the RSC while I was at college in Stratford, a wonderful South African actor called John Matshikiza. He had got involved in the band and he suggested I came and sung too. And he helped write some of the lyrics. And the band leader was a guy called John Glynn, who'd been in X-Ray Specs with wonderful Polystyrene.
Another local girl.
Another wonderful
local. Who I once bumped into in a jungle in Kerala, in India.
Oh, wow.
Bizarrely, how one does.
Were you both on one of those trips to find yourselves? Or?
No, I was on 2-week package holiday.
What was she doing?
Well, I kind of knew her anyway. So when you just see someone in the middle of the jungle, I was going, what? But it was nice to see her. Anyway, I digress.
That was, I think, my first gig was an X-Ray Specs gig. It was at our local tech. They came to play. I thought she was fantastic.
I know.
But I know she was very loved by Hastings and St Leonard's.
Yeah, because I saw the film that Richard Heslop made that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I want to watch that again, actually.
Yeah, it's good.
I watched it a while ago.
So you're in Brixton, and you're always been involved in left-wing politics.
So I'm in the Republic. We play a great deal. We're the band that's supposed to make it. We're the cover of NME. The Granada TV did a program on us, and our first single was Anti the Malvinas War. Don't believe it's in your interest.
Yeah. And
our second one was called The Royal Family. I think you can guess the take.
Yeah.
And we were kind of pulled from the airwaves. We were deemed too political. So even though we were the darling of the music press,
Yeah.
and we packed our gigs, and it really was the band that was supposed to make it,
Yeah.
we didn't, because of the politics of the tracks. We signed to Oval Records, which was Charlie Gillett's label,
Yeah.
and lovely man. And so we made an EP, 3-song EP. We never got to make the album.
Yeah.
We travelled a great deal because we had a van, so we
Yeah.
would go abroad quite a lot.
Was it exciting being on the road?
In the very exciting, yeah.
I've always thought that'd be
And
the best.
back in the day, when you were just all of you in a transit van, there's
Yeah.
something pretty amazing about that. And
Yeah, and when you're young and you don't bother about the comfort and things like that, do you? Just
well, we'd never had any comfort, so
yes,
it's not
just
like
think,
it's not a shock to the system.
no.
After the Republic eventually split, because we didn't, there was too much against it because of its politics, and so it seemed to split into two. Half the band seemed to go into Three Mustafas 3, and half the band sort of filtered into this fantastic 25-piece Brechtian big band called the Happy End. And they were the most wonderful bunch of people, a lot of whom have remained good lifelong friends.
Yeah.
It was run by Matt Fox and Glenn Gordon, and it was set up to make politics swing. And it was a mixture of men and women playing instruments. A lot of people were playing the instrument for the first time. So it was a mixture of those that were really good players and those that were only just trying to find a sound. But it was fantastic that was possible. And so we did music from Irish music. We did music from the Spanish Civil War. We did a lot of Brecht. So we did Kurt Weill and Hans Eisler. We did Charles Ives and the Circus Band. We did Chilean music. We did a tribute to Victor Jara. And we did a little Chinese section, which we called Mao Zedong in Chic. But it was just fantastic. You just knew that the audience were people that you wanted to know.
Yeah.
And with such a big band, you always had friends and people to talk to.
Oh.
We never earned more than, I think the most we ever were paid were £20 each, and we just thought that was incredible. But Matt and Glenn did the most wonderful arrangements, and it was a very special period of my musical life, and it just felt right, because of my beginnings in Brechtian theatre, to then be singing this Brechtian music. And I remember hearing that the National Theatre and the RSC, when they were ever doing a Brecht play, they would send the cast along to see us.
Brilliant.
We did it in a vulgar way,
Yeah.
If I was playing the Madame, I was vulgar. If I was playing a street worker, if I was whatever it was I was playing, we made it. There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And we did Glastonbury, but we went to the Edinburgh Festival, and then we got very involved in the miners' strike, because Matt introduced to Kay Sutcliffe, who was a Kent miner's wife, and she'd written these brilliant lyrics to a song called Coal Not Dole. So between us all, we did this great version of Coal Not Dole, which we recorded, and we did so many benefits that year for the miners' strike all over the country. And we were doing a concert the night that we found out that Thatcher had destroyed everyone's lives in her move. So that was very emotional, and that felt like a very important thing to be involved with. Unfortunately, Matt Fox, about 4 or 5 years ago, died. He died while he was teaching, but he carried on being an innovator, a musical innovator, and extraordinary man, Matt Fox. I feel very privileged to have been part of both the Republic and the Happy End.
So I don't think music's not that political anymore, really, is it? I don't know. Differently, I think.
That I'm sure it's out there, and I know we have more access to things, but we also have a lot of filtering happening, and we don't have governments that support the arts in the way that we need to. So a lot of the venues that would have allowed that kind of music to take place doesn't exist. I mean, I feel very fortunate that in the 80s, there were so many venues. There was still the college circuit.
Yeah.
You could learn your art by going and doing all the wine bars. You know, I used to sing in Kennedy's in the King's Road, and with lovely Eve that you had on last week,
yeah.
wonderful Eve Ferret. She and I used to do alternating nights at a place called All My Eye and Betty Martin, just off the King's Road, and she was wearing her wonderful corsets, and I was wearing Victorian underwear. You know, the long knickers, lots of floating beauty spots, depending on where the spot was that day. But there were a lot of great venues to be able to play and learn your art in front of an audience.
Yeah, because nowadays the bands, they seem to get together on the X Factor, and they just want to be famous straight away, don't they?
Yeah, and they don't have that chance of interacting with an audience and learning how to communicate.
Yeah,
and I think that's terribly important as part of a journey of being a good storyteller.
Yeah,
you know, you've got to learn by making the mistakes and being real.
Yeah, no, and you don't really want to. You know, they go straight from nothing to playing the O2, don't they? Like the people on the X Factor.
But also, I mean, what
must that be like?
Well, I gave up television about 11 years ago. When I moved down here 11 years ago, we came down and decided not to have a telly. And a lot of the reason was because of that kind of telly. You know, I felt it was an insult to me, to my intelligence.
Yeah.
And those kind of programs, some of them I imagine have been good, but on the whole, it's making a quick, fast buck. Nobody's getting paid, except for those that are running the program. And there's no thought about what happens to those artists at the end of it. You know, they get built up. They have this very unreal life, earning lots of money. Nobody necessarily teaches these people how to keep hold of it, because they are controlled by whoever it is that's doing the program, and they're tied in. And if they don't have success, they're dropped, and there's nobody there to counsel them and pick up that broken boy or girl or man or woman.
Is there any questions for a minute? Because I want to ask if there's any questions. Have a little. Anyone got any questions they want to ask while we're here? Then I've got to get onto the. Oh, Dina wants another red wedge to be set up.
God, we need another red wedge. But first of all, we need a united Labour Party.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I know, because all they do is row, isn't it? Amongst themselves. It's terrible.
See, they should be at their strongest at this point with a disgusting government like that. They should be so together, as should the Democrats in America. But that's a whole other session.
Oh, Naomi Noam agrees X Factor's an insult to human intelligence. Cara loves you. There we go. I think she lives around the corner. But even I don't watch X Factor anymore. That's saying something. Because I watch any old rubbish. But I do like people to have a bit of talent and not just want to be famous.
Oh, but there are lots. I mean, I'm not saying that those people that do the programs aren't talented.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that at all. I just don't like what's behind it.
I know, it's not nice.
And as I was saying before, I think it's quite important that you learn how to communicate with an audience, and you learn by, you know, on the job. You know, the amount of times I would dare to try for a note at a live gig, not quite get away with it, but at least I tried it and I found out what I could and couldn't do. And there's nothing like the live.
That's another reason I love Hastings. There's music everywhere, isn't it?
It's fantastic. There's such talent down here.
Yeah. Someone wants to know if the first two Happy End albums could be re-released. They're very hard to get.
Oh, I'd love to. God, I'd love to reunite the happy end, but like I said, without Matt, it would probably not be right.
I just love the name. Just
The
realised.
happy end, yeah. Honestly, if you ever get, I don't know if there's any footage out there of us, but it was a really important band.
Yeah.
It really was.
Right, so the time's whizzing past. We've only got about 25 minutes left. Oh, Despo would like to know, is your hair naturally curly?
It is. And my mum, when I was younger, used to, I don't think she understood curls. My dad had curly hair. So she used to forever brush it. So in a lot of photos of, well, actually, we don't have many photos of us when we were children. We didn't have a camera, but I look like I've got wavy hair, but it's because she was brushing the curls out. But now all I do is I wet my hair with, put water on my hands.
Yeah.
Go like that. I don't brush my hair.
No.
And then that's
You're
what I do.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
Do you dye it?
I do now, but I didn't up until a couple of years ago. Yeah. I was getting away with it because as a redhead, you're kind of pepper and salty.
Yeah.
I was getting to the point where, and I'm so known as the woman with the big red mouth and the red hair. So now I have a lovely friend of mine, Lee, who I met years and years and years ago. He's a great colorist. So every now and again, I go up to London and he sort of brings my hair back to the color that it was.
Well, it looks absolutely gorgeous. See, I had to ask if you dyed it, so that's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah. But I'm very lucky that it was only a couple of years ago. But gosh, it's so much more expensive when you have to get into all of that. Because of the curly hair, I didn't really have to do hairdressers very often. Yeah. And I know that's fortunate because I now know how expensive hairdressers are.
I know, it's a fortune. That's one of the reasons I let mine just go grey. And also,
well, I'd love to have been that brave, and maybe I will at some point.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it, but it's taken a long time. It's like 2 years now, and it's still not all gone.
Well, I would imagine a lot of people in lockdown have found themselves doing that, and hopefully finding some bravery with it and staying with it.
Quick question: someone asked, "Who have you most enjoyed duetting with?"
Who I most enjoyed duetting with? Well, obviously Jimmy was fantastic. You know, the energy between us, and also we would this July and August we would have been doing 4 concerts again together, but we've had to put them on.
Oh no, where were they going to be at?
Yeah, well, every year we get together for the 80s. God, I can't remember what rewind festivals and the Let's Rock festivals.
To see we again.
We sung together last summer, and we were gonna be doing it this. Can I just move 1 second? Is that okay? Is that messed up?
No, you've been so still compared to most people. You're doing brilliantly.
It's quite soothing just stroking the dog here.
I know. It looks
keeping me focused.
So we have. I think I want to ask you about the big moment, how you met Jimmy Somerville and how that record came about. Wasn't it the biggest selling record that year?
It was the biggest selling record that year. So I met Jimmy through Richard. Richard had been at the drama college I went a few years after me, because I think I'm 3 years older than Richard. And he was there with my brother, Rod, who also lives down here in Hastings. And he's a filmmaker, photographer. And so I knew Richard from that period. And when I was in the Republic, one of the singles we did was called My Spies. And I sung it in a mock operatic voice. So it was kind of, my spies are in position round your house. And it was with a Middle Eastern dance beat. And it became quite big on the gay circuit. And when Richard and Jimmy were talking, because Jimmy and Richard sort of met towards the tail end of Bronski Beat. And Richard joined Bronski Beat. And then they decided to leave and become the Communards, the two of them. Well, he was talking with Jimmy and telling him about this miners' benefit that I was doing, and did he want to come down to Brixton to see it? And Jimmy said that he had that song, My Spies, and he thought that I was a man because of the voice. And so Richard brought him down to prove to him that I wasn't, that I was a girl, and we just really clicked. I mean, Jimmy and Richard have been very involved with the miners' strike through Gaze the Word, and so we both had been very involved in that in our different way, and we just laughed at the fact that he was a petite red-headed man with an incredibly high voice, and I was a very tall red-headed woman with a very low voice. And so, you know, they were just doing their first single at that point. I think they were just putting together You're My World.
Yeah.
And they'd got a benefit for Gaze the Word bookshop happening at the Fridge, which was across the road to where I lived.
Oh, yeah.
The following week. And Jimmy said, why don't we do something together? And I said, that's great. But they were so busy doing promo that there was no chance to get together to decide what to do as a duet. So I had this great idea that we should do Billie Holiday's Lover Man and both be singing about the same guy. So I brought along the lyrics, and I think I must have sent a tape or something in the post. So anyway, Richard wrote out the chords. And we did it at this benefit at the Fridge. And we were kind of tearing the lyrics away from each other. And we were really camping it up. And the record company were in the audience. And the audience went crazy. It was a great performance, great energy. And I think the record company realised that this was quite an interesting double act.
Yeah.
And
were
so
you with London Records at this time?
Pardon?
You were London Records?
They were with London Records, yeah. So it was London Records in the audience, and they were already signed with Bananarama and the Redskins.
And do you remember? Did Eugene work there then?
Oh, he's just recently died.
I know he died. I know. I was so upset.
On Wednesday is his send-off day. He was a special man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did our press. He was a gorgeous, gorgeous man. Very positive. I last saw him. He came to a gig of mine a couple of years ago in South London, and he hadn't changed. He was just still,
I know, he always looks the same.
Yeah, and what positive energy.
I know. So I didn't know him that well, but he knew lots of my friends. So and Julie Marcus, do you know her? Because she worked at London Records at that time.
Their name rings a bell.
Yeah,
the name rings a bell.
So anyway, you got press as usual. So you got together with.
So they then asked if I would then go to America to do the album.
Yeah.
And I'd never, apart from going off to Italy, to join the WAP Avenue, which was the Italian band, I'd never really been abroad. So this was very exciting. And so we went off just before Christmas of 1985.
Yeah.
And we all stayed in an apartment together, open plan, lots of Jimmy's and Richard's friends there, including Mark Ashton, you know, who they made the wonderful film Pride about.
Oh, yeah. I love that film so much.
It's a brilliant film. And I thought he was very well portrayed as well. God, what a man. And died so young.
Yeah.
So he was very vital. And he was Jimmy's best friend.
Yeah.
So we had this great team of people. We had such a party time in New York. And I can remember this one. It was New Year's Eve, and beg your pardon, it was Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve, and we were going off to a place called the Boy Bar. They used to like their vodka, the boys, and we were going past one of those tall brownstone buildings, and it was a vintage shop. And there were a few things hanging outside, but there was obviously a party going on and people partying on the street and on the steps. And Jimmy, who was a bit drunk at this point, said, I dare you to grab that. So I was dared. And I ran up the steps, grabbed whatever was hanging there.
Yeah.
And we ran. And I think, we were both a little tipsy. And I think we just thought there'd be a chase.
Yeah.
And nobody chased us. Nobody even noticed. And we ended up at the Boy Bar and then went on to Limelight, because at that point, Jimmy, having been in Bronski Beat, he got free into any club that there was. So we were in the Limelight and in the toilets, and we had a look at what it was that I'd taken, and it was like this mermaid green sequin dress that fitted me like a glove.
Lucky.
And so I kept that one on. But I'm not proud of the fact that we stole this dress, but it was one of those dares in the moment, and we didn't harm anyone. And I've still got that dress, but it's
Amazing.
years since I was able to get into it.
You never know.
Maybe one day I'll be able to auction that and raise some money for some good, and that will make me feel a little bit better about the fact that I stole it.
And oh, hi Emma. Oh, she's enjoying this. Oh, someone saw you in Birmingham with a sweet little mystery. Sublime performance from you all.
Thank you.
That's
the latest album. So we did an album paying homage to John Martin, the wonderful singer-songwriter. He died 10 years ago, well, 11 years ago now, age 60. And I turned 60 last year. And I wanted to do a project that gave me a bit of time off as a songwriter.
Yeah.
Because when I'd become a human rights songwriter over these years, and I write the human story. And for Layla Hussein, along with Tony, my main guitarist, we'd written the FGM campaign song. And we wrote a song about child soldiers, a song about honor killings, very heavy subject matter. And you absorb those stories, and I needed a break. So I had to think, well, John Martin had a baritone voice, which is what I've got. I've been singing one of his songs as my encore song since I think 1997, and it's about time that people, paid attention to his genius as a songwriter and as a singer again. I mean, I know he was a very complicated man. There are many stories about the many sides of John Martin. There's a documentary, there are books, and he lived here in Hastings.
Oh, another one.
Yeah. So he had a place in a lot of people's hearts here. Yeah. So what we did was we took, Tony and I, we took 10 songs. We chose ones that we felt took you through John's career, but it's not. We wanted to recreate his songs. There's no point in just covering a song. You've got to make it your own. And so we pulled the songs to pieces. I even wrote some new lyrics to some of the songs. Yeah. And we recorded the album with the band in Eastbourne. Yeah. So there's a great studio called Echo Zoo, which is very close to here. Yeah. And then on the album, I do a duet with the wonderful Eddie Reader.
Oh, yeah.
You must know her.
Perfect.
It's got to be.
Practically every year for about 10 years, she won Best Female Vocalist at the Brits.
Oh, she's wonderful, Eddie. Wonderful. Yeah. I knew her back in the day when I was in Brixton, and when I was in the Republic, she and I were singers in a Ghanaian band called Fufu and Light Soup. And she used to live in this prefab just off Kennington. And I used to go and have tea with her. And she and I, we both performed on Clapham Common. Yeah. And she was just going off at that point to be the backing vocalist with the Eurythmics.
Oh, yeah.
Then. And then obviously she met up with Martin Evan, who wrote a lot of those songs. Yeah. And then they had the success with the Fairground Attraction. But my favourite album of Eddie's is her Burns album. She took all the poems of Robert Burns and turned them into songs with Boo Hooadine, and it's just fantastic. So anyway, she knew John, and she had occasionally duetted with him. So she does the duet with me of that song. It's one of his most famous. You probably know it. May you never lay your head down without a hand to hold. May you never make your bed out in the cold. So that's the duet with Eddie on the album. So I'm just talking about this because you mentioned in Birmingham the Sweet Little Mystery tour, and that's what I would have also been doing at this time. I was about to start touring. The day of lockdown, I was going to be doing 2 nights at Ronnie Scott's. And going to be at the Kino here with the Sweet Little Mystery project with the film. That's what we did with the album, once we'd made it, we wanted to take it a little bit further. So my brother Rod Morris, he and I went round the country and we met up with musicians and friends of John's and family members, and we interviewed them on film and found out, you know, another side to John.
Yeah.
And then I got my old mate, Mark Thomas, you know, the wonderful political comedian, activist.
Yeah, I've met him once. Yeah, on
and
the radio.
he loves jazz. And I asked him if he'd direct it, because we wanted to take a show up to the Edinburgh Festival. And so he helped me put it together. And Tim Cansfield, who's the other guitarist, Tony and myself, we went up to the Edinburgh Festival last August, and we won one of the Edinburgh Festival Awards, which was brilliant. Yeah, it was really good. So we this year we would have been properly touring.
I know it sounds I'm sorry, but next year it'll happen, won't it?
Well, something will happen. I mean, we were lucky that we even got to do any of it. And you know, at the moment, because I've got Italy and Italy's opened up first, I have some concerts, but we have no idea what it will be for the creative arts, because with the amount of social distancing that needs to happen for the safety, it's going to make it very, very difficult for anyone to actually make any money at it.
Yeah. But I've just got to ask you, what was it actually like when you realised you were number one and your record was just so mega and so huge and so huge selling?
It was great fun. I mean, we got to do Top of the Pops 4 or 5 times. I think the first time we did it, we were just gone into the charts. Then we did it when we went to number 2. And then we did it for several weeks at number 1.
Yeah.
And we were in Venice when we found out. We were just about to go on stage in Venice when we found out we were number 1. And we were sent a crate of champagne by Elton John, because Rocket, the publishing was with Rocket.
Yeah.
And we were this was something that both Jimmy and Richard and I were very much against, but the record company had to get us back for Top of the Pops, so they flew us back on a private jet, which is very much against the politics that we were spouting. So that felt weird.
But sometimes you do it, don't you know?
Yeah, we did do it, but it wasn't something we were comfortable with. I remember one time we'd flown back from America, and his record company had sent a limo for us all, and there was no way we were going to get into this limo. Yeah. And we all just got off and caught the tube. And
brilliant, well done.
Huge expense to the record company. That was our way of saying, no, you got us wrong.
Do you think flying is going to stop us quite a lot now? I think, just, you know, you won't have to go to America to be on a TV.
Well, I mean, we've got to take care of the planet, and we've all got to start finding different ways of traveling. And I mean, that was another reason why I was going to be in Italy for most of the summer, so that I was only on one flight going out and one flight coming back 3 months later. Because normally my carbon footprint is not good, because so much of my work is abroad. I'm often on flights 2, 3, 4 times a week, and that is not good. So I'd already put into place this way of working, so that I could only do 2 flights. But I think we've all got to take that on board. And we all need to get involved with Extinction Rebellion, to do our bit, you know, to hits our
I think I've only put petrol in my car twice this year.
Yeah. Well, the planet had a little bit of a break with this COVID.
Yeah.
But it's really so tiny in the scheme of the damage that we've done.
And have you enjoyed? I mean, I've been lucky because I had nothing really to miss. You know, I didn't have anything big planned, so there's nothing really happened to me. So I've thoroughly enjoyed myself during lockdown. How have you found it?
I found it. The really positive side of it was that my son and his partner Jasper, they closed their business just before COVID, and they were about to go off to Italy to go and teach, and of course Italy closed down, so that folded, and so they moved in with us, and so that's been a really fantastic experience to live with them as adults, and share this wonderful house with them for this time. That has been the most positive part of it for me. It's been very scary, and knowing that there is so much unknown about work for the future.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that, because I set up my own record label, I'm a limited company that paid myself dividends. So I fell through the net and haven't been fortunate with anything handed out by the government.
No.
So
No.
it's a bit scary financially, but I know how much luckier I am than so many. And you were saying before that I'd raised a lot of money for the food bank. We did a concert here with Mike Willis and my son Otis, and we managed to raise nearly £3,000 actually. But I went and got to meet John, who runs the food bank here, and he was telling me that there are just so many more people that are living on the streets and that don't know how to feed themselves. It's desperate out there. And until we have a government that gives a bloody damn, it's going to get worse.
It's beyond my comprehension that anyone can vote for the current government, because they're blithering idiots. That's all you can say.
It's just the elite. They don't give a damn about us. We just don't figure. And as for America, I mean, but we've traveled so far up the arse of America. It's scary. Something's got to give.
But don't worry, we get Tim Tams from Australia, so everything will be all right.
I'm a celiac. It means nothing to me.
Oh, but what is going through their heads? You just think, isn't there one single person there with one iota of common sense who can say,
sharing brain cells?
Yeah, because
but there is not a soul to share, unfortunately. There.
No, I know. It's just beggars belief that we're in this situation. We've almost finished. We've only got 3 minutes left.
Oh my God!
How did it go so quick?
I hope I haven't talked too much.
No, I've learned so much, because that's why. Because I want to ask you as well about your cousin. I was thrilled today. I discovered Sarah Jane's cousin is, I can't even say it properly. Armistead Maupin, is it?
Armistead Maupin.
Armistead Maupin.
Or some people say Maupin. Yeah. So that was a wonderful accident happening, as in I knew that there was an American family, but when Dad went to prison, we kind of were written out by the family, so we didn't really know any of our cousins or anyone. And when Dad, as he was dying, he told me that I had this, that somebody had done a family tree, and I had this famous American cousin who was an author. But so much of what my dad said was a porky pie along the way. I didn't necessarily trust it. So I waited quite a bit before I contacted the publishers and said, I've been led to believe that Armistead and I are cousins, but I might be wrong. Yeah. And then within the day, Armistead had emailed back and said, yeah, you're right. This family tree's been done, and we are, and how fantastic. And I flew out to San Francisco and got to know him, and met his wonderful sister Jane, who at that time was a llama farmer in New Zealand. Yeah. And in fact, Ian McKellen was staying with her while he was filming Lord of the Rings out there in New Zealand. But anyway, she's the sister I never had. Yeah. She is just fantastic. And it's wonderful to, as an adult, choose your relatives.
Yeah. Oh, how lovely.
Yeah. And Otis and I got to sing at the launch of Armistead's book at the British Library. And Armistead and his husband Chris, who are now living here in London, in Clapham.
Oh, are they?
They came to the launch of Sweet Little Mystery at the South Bank. Oh, so I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him.
That's amazing. Now, just before we go, remember to send your pictures in. We'll show you a few at the end, but they'll all come up later. Any questions? Any desperate questions anyone wants to ask or say? Oh, Julia Stannard, she really enjoyed it. Thank you. Oh, my cousin Simon, they say one of my cousins is here. He's the one was so thrilled that you were on.
Oh, yeah.
He loved hearing your story.
Hello, Simon.
Yeah, he's a big fan of yours. Oh, Lizzie Crone's laughing because I said blithering idiots about the government. They're worse than that.
Oh, we haven't talked about the wonderful Lee Bowery at all.
Oh, no.
You and I are connected. But
I hear
another time.
Wasn't he a bit funny at you in airport once, I heard?
Oh, he was brilliant.
What did he do? Tell me.
Well, he and I both got to do we were both told it was an arts festival. It was actually the first festival of erotica in Bologna. So he'd got two guys had come out to do an act with him. Yeah. And he was on like platforms this high.
Yeah.
and you can imagine the outfit. And he was naked.
Yeah.
They were all naked behind. And we did this TV show together. And there wasn't really anything remotely naughty or risque about my lyrics, because I thought it was an arts festival and that Felicia was going to be presenting it. And like I said, it turned out to be this festival of erotica. And there we were. And the audience at the TV station did not know how to cope with Lee at all. They were, as I was singing, he was sort of tottering around on these platforms this high, all around the audience, and you could just, there must be out there somewhere, the embarrassed faces of the presenters.
When you speak to him, he was such a nice, normal person.
Absolutely. He was in a suit at the airport. He didn't have the safety pins in his cheek, but you could see the holes where they'd been. And he was utterly charming. Oh, what a gorgeous man. Obviously, you knew him incredibly well. Yeah. I only got to know him through the Bologna Festival of Erotica.
But what everyone ever says about him, about being this and that, I go, oh, my thing, he's just the best friend you could have, really. Oh, Corinne has sent a message. She's enjoyed it.
Oh, no, what a gorgeous human being she is, and a great singer. Swing Out Sister.
I know, she's marvellous.
And we both share, she lets me share her guitarist, Tim. But I love it. I love Corinne's art. She's occasionally come and drawn me at concerts.
Oh, yeah.
But she's just a beautiful human being.
She's lovely, I know. There's a game on my phone that it pops up. I think it's something about a girl called Jane, and she looks so like Corinne, this girl. Every time I see it, I think, what's Corinne doing there?
Stunningly beautiful.
I know. Someone just said, Donna Napoli, she's thoroughly enjoyed it, but the message is gone, so I can't read it now. Katie, have we got any pictures yet that we can show? I think she won't be able to tell you who they are, but sometimes I can guess who they're by.
Can I come round and see?
Yeah,
it's on my iPhone.
So you can see them. Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's so cute.
That. Brilliant.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I love it.
My nephew Reynard, I can tell his style. That's Reynard's picture. Oh, fantastic. That's lovely. Oh, I think that's Jennifer Corker. And she's got cool. Oh, Karen Duffy. That's gorgeous. I'm not sure who that is.
Oh, that's great.
So they're going to be lovely. Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, yeah.
That's Hilary Wilkie.
Brilliant.
But you'll get some absolutely lovely ones. Don't worry.
Oh, I'll come on back round.
Oh, Michelle Daly. That was great. Yeah. Corinne says she loved it again. Oh, Eve loved it.
Oh, beautiful Eve.
And Despo lives here. Pauline. I better tell you who's on next week. I've got another Hastings musician on next week. Kevin Armstrong.
Oh, well, Kevin and I toured the world together. Kevin was in a band for years.
Well, because I was watching David Bowie on last night, and that's why it reminded me, because he played at Live Aid with David Bowie.
He played at Live Aid, and he was in Tin Machine.
Yeah, and plays with Iggy Pop now. So he probably has some interesting stories for all you David.
He certainly will have. He's very funny, very witty. So you'll have great stories on that one.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I don't know you very well and I don't know him very well. I enjoy that because I learn, stuff myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite nosy. I like to know everyone's business. Oh, you can't send a photo, Anna Katz. You could send it to. I don't know how to do it. We'll sort it out eventually. Right. Any more pictures arrived yet, Katie? Or have we had the whole gamut? Oh, Paul's from Hull. Who enjoyed it?
Hello.
Yeah.
From Hull.
Hull. From Hull.
Hull.
Oh.
I love Hull.
So
yeah, we would have been playing in Hull actually over this period as well. Yeah. And I was going to be going to Ireland for the first time in 33 years. So let's hope that gets moved to next year.
Yeah. Oh.
And let's hope that everybody stays safe.
I'm sure
and sensible. And sensible.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. I love all the drawings you've shown me.
I know. You'll love it when the gallery comes. And I hope to
Do
see
I
you.
get to have any of them?
Come.
Can I get to have any of them?
Well, you can have to do a little conflab, I'm sure, with the artists. I'm sure they'd be very obliging.
Because I'd love to be able to put them on my website. Would that be possible?
Oh yeah, because we'll put them on the website anyway, so you can just copy
Great.
that, put it on
So
your
you
website.
can share that with me. That would be
Yeah.
brilliant.
And if there's
Great.
anyone you really love, you know, you could do a little arrangement. Someone might let you have it. You never know.
Brilliant.
Right. Oh, Katie, someone wants the link to the live art class. Is there anywhere we can put it online or something so people know it? Or if you send it me, I'll send it round to everyone. It'd be all right. Because we've got the live art class on Saturday outdoors. So I hope it doesn't rain. Oh, here. It was there, but it was a bit quick. I'll put it on my Facebook page. Don't worry. But I'll tell you anyway, Karen. It's only just round the corner. But don't you just, I want to say how much I love living here. Because you left and came back, didn't you? Hello?
What?
You left
Hello?
and came back. Are we finished?
Left
I
here.
think perhaps
Yep.
we've got... Are we still on air, Katie?